body language, how sensitive a horse is, that if they can feel a fly, how easily they can feel your body and everything you do on them. Now I'm really loaded with stuff, so if I can get on, it'll be a miracle. And not tear everything off. Okay, so what I want to talk to you about, I'm going to put this horse in the 2-rein. What I want to talk to you about is riding. He's just as aware of my body as he is from the ground. So if I ask him to go, and I want to go to the right, if I put my right seat bone, just the tiniest bit in the ground, in the saddle, and I open this stirrup, he will follow that tiny little bit of weight change. If I come here and put a little bit of weight in my left hip and open this stirrup that much, he will come to that. If I put a little weight in my right stirrup, he will go, right seat bone, he will go there. Left seat bone, he will go here. If I want to stop, I breathe out and relax. You can make your horses that sensitive too. This is not genius. This is not magic. This is simply being attentive. This is just being aware of your horse. You will do that to whatever extent pleases you. I happen to like it as exact as I can make it, because the more exact I am, the happier my horse is, because now there's no confusion in his life. He doesn't get in trouble for stuff. He gets corrected, but he doesn't get in trouble. So let me just walk around here for a minute. Now, he can feel this right seat bone. He can feel my rein, the tiniest little touch with the rein, my seat bone. He can feel me breathe out. He can feel me ask him to back up just by body. Horses are that sensitive. And so you tend to think of them as being big, and so you are more heavy with them. You are more demanding. You are more aggressive. They're big, but remember, they can feel a fly. If they can feel a fly, they can feel everything you do on their body. So what makes this horse so quiet is that he is totally secure in what he is going to be told. He understands everything I'm going to tell him. I don't cluck very much, and I don't say whoa. And the only reason is in the situations that I ride him, running off a mountain or something like that, you're not going to be saying whoa. This is not an arena, so there's not a set pattern for him. He doesn't know a set pattern. He doesn't know that if we start pattern 5, we're going to do this. They learn that, but he doesn't know that. He only knows to just go do whatever I tell him to do at the time. When I tell him to stop and stand, he knows to stop and stand. If I pick up my reins, he is going to be ready to do something. He doesn't know what it is, but he's going to be ready to do something. So, I'm just going to walk around here for a minute, and I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to put a little weight in my right seat bone, touch him with the rein. Now, I think I want him to side pass, so I'm going to touch him with the left spur and just ask him to move over. I stopped touching, so he stopped. I'm going to touch the other way, and he's going to move over. I'm going to stop, and he's going to stop. Now, there's something very important about what I just said. When you work with a horse, if you teach it in pieces, they can learn it. If you slur what you're teaching them, they don't get it, just like people don't. People don't get a sentence of instructions. They get an instruction and a moment to assimilate it, an instruction, a moment to assimilate it, and an instruction. That's what I do. I give one instruction, and then there's an instant and another instruction. The more trained they get, the faster you can give the instructions. But what you must remember is that if you're ever working with any animal, people really too, then you would give them one instruction and there'd be 1,001. And another instruction and 1,001. To give them a moment to realize that that was what you wanted them to do. Now you stop for an instant. Now this is what I want you to do. They can relate to that. But if it's all just flowing, they can't, in the beginning, relate to that. So when you're schooling anything, you remember, we do this, wait a minute. Now, if you wait too long, they will sleep in between. That doesn't work. It's a flow. It's a flow that you will learn. I'm riding him in a 2-rein just because today I'd like to play with him, and sometimes I'm going to reach down and pick up this rein, or I may reach down and pick up this other rein because I may want to just fool around. I can do that also in a bridle. I can take him any way I want in a bridle. But I thought, well, today let's do it in a 2-rein. This is a traditional California style, and I always like to share that with people. By the way, see, my reins have chains on them. You don't see those now in the show ring. They have chains on them because when you take them to the water trough to drink, it doesn't get your reins wet. It's also called slobber chains, so that if a horse's mouth is salivating, they don't get all over your reins. Okay, so let's pick this up a little bit. So now I'm going to see if I can canter with all this stuff without everything falling off. And I don't care that he sets his head in the Western pleasure style. He was reading my mind. I don't care if he sets his head in the Western pleasure style. I just as soon he carried his head in a natural, kind of out in front of him sort of way, and we'll gallop him here for a minute until he settles down and pays attention to me. So I just gave him a correction there. You saw me bump his head to the left. I'm going to do it again here if he thinks about going out that gate. I'm going to bump him. Now I'm going to think about stopping, and to make it really clear to you, what I'm going to do is reach up and push myself back in the saddle, and that's going to tell him to stop. Because all I did was sit down. So when I sit down, he stops. Is this making sense? Are y'all going to run home and do this? Okay. He waits until I tell him to do the next thing. I'm going to start off cantering this direction. My hunch is he'll look out that window, that door. That would be horse-like. I'm going to bump him lightly. He's going to say, oh, yeah, I can't go there. And he's going to then pay attention to me. Oh, he heard me. Now I'm using a little bit of inside leg too here, and I'm losing my microphone. Okay, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to take my hand. I'm going to push it up here and push it, and he's going to stop. When I push it, and the reason I'm pushing it is so that you can really see it, when I push it, it also sits me down and puts my feet forward slightly. So let's do that again. Now, if I want to make my circle smaller, I begin to sit down a little bit, down back a little bit, exhale a little bit, and he brings it all the way down to here, just by breath and where my feet are, and my cheek bones in both hands and my head and my eyes. That was a joke. Okay, so here I go again. I'm going to canter a little faster. Let's go a little faster. I'm going to start slowing down. I'm going to start slowing down because I'm going to start sitting down. So I'm sitting down. I'm going to start sitting way down. He's going to start stopping. He's not paying attention. There. So he was slow doing that. Let's do that again now. See if we can do that better. Okay, we're going to come around here. I'm going to start sitting down. Now, so I just scolded him. I just scolded him and said, now listen, let's get this a little better. You're not paying attention to me. So what I did was that I picked up a rein, touched him with a spur. He knows that was a scold. So now let's see what happens. Let me come down here a little further. Okay. Get out of the mud a little bit. There we go. And he won't stop, supposedly. He won't stop until I stop. And when I stop riding, he stops. You see, I want a horse so that when I stop, he stops. When I want him to go, he goes. This is a partnership. This is a togetherness. This is a thing I do that's just simply fun. So if I want him to turn around, I put a little weight in that stirrup, and now he's getting a little more with me. I'm going to pick up my rein here and get him to follow his head a little better, touch him with the spur, speed it up a little, and start off. I'm going to stop. I'm going to back up. Okay.